I really enjoyed my video on the top 10 quotes in Sun and Moon. However, looking back on it, the phenomenal writing of this game is certainly not justified by just 10 quotes. I believe a lot of people agree because there were so many comments on that video talking about, oh, what about this quote? What about this quote? How did you forget this quote? So I'm thinking, let's just make a video about the best quotes in the game. No top 10 list, no limits. I'm just gonna barrage you guys with some of the most amazing writing that Pokemon has ever seen. I really love this comment right here. My favorite quote reads every Team Skull quote. So let's go and start off with some Team Skull quotes. So this one was one that I forgot. I remember it through the story, and I actually forgot to put it in the video. I'll share my berries for free with any Pokemon, but you'll not have a single one from me. So this is coming from the Berry Master. And then one of the Team Skull grunts. So what? I'm lower than a Pokemon? I've already got self-esteem issues, man. Holy crap. That is golden. That hits... Like, just like I'm gonna say this so many times. I'm gonna repeat myself so many times throughout the video. But, like, every solid quote in this game hits you on so many different levels. Because, you know, there's that whole, like, bully mentality. I'm not calling Team Skull Grunt bullies. You know, those people that are dropouts, that are bums in some way. That, you know, they have self-esteem issues. That they have their own personal problems. And sometimes those just serve. It's like, come on, man. It's already hard enough. Don't put me less than a Pokemon. I'm already a thug. Can't you see what I'm doing? Like, I'm already a failure as it is. Don't make me feel worse about it. So that's something pretty crazy right there. Now, another quote that I haven't seen anyone talking about that I found while just going through the game was this one right here. So we have one of the punk guys, and he says, I've done 0 squats while just kneeling down. I don't know if there's sarcasm, if it's just cheekiness, but a lot of the dialogue in this game is just blunt. And it's almost like its own form of dry humor coming from just some random person. And it all adds up, and it just feels really good. See, talk to a random guy, just sitting on the ground. I've done 0 squats, because it's making fun of everything about the scenario. So that's pretty good right there. And then also, there's not just people, but Pokemon having their own really interesting quotes. Now, some of these are funny, but some of these are also just really deep. Like, Mimikyu actually talking. Me curse you. That's twisted. The other Mimikyu that we can talk to just says Mimic. Or Mimikyu or whatever. You know, it says its name. It says what it's supposed to. But this Mimikyu, it is living up to the Pokedex lore right here. Its actual appearance is unknown. A scholar who saw what was underneath its rag was overwhelmed by terror and died from the shock. And pretty much it's just like, yeah, if you look underneath a Mimikyu's cloth, you will be cursed. It's just terrifying that Mimikyu is like, it's just so straightforward about cursing you while speaking a human language. Just a little freaky right there. And then the next one, man, another one that I didn't put in the video that is an absolute classic. This breaks the fourth wall. This is so meta on so many levels. But right before you battle Morimoto in the Game Freak office, he says, whoops, I forgot to save before the battle, but I'm going to win anyway, so it's fine. And I mean, my first thought about this was like, yo, the save joke, you know, you gotta save before the big one. But then also, everyone's been there where you forget to save, and you're like, oh, this battle is gonna be fine, and then you get absolutely slapped around. So Morimoto becomes us for a brief moment, but just the whole idea of like, oh, forgot to save, it's like, that is so cheeky right there, and that is, I love it. That's an amazing quote. I don't know who's more responsible for the writing. Like, was that an original Game Freak quote for the Japanese version, or did the translation team for US do such a stellar job on this? And then this one's a classic. I kind of didn't want to put this one in my top 10 quotes video out of the frustration, because it's not like an amazing top-notch quote. It's something that has like different interpretations, you know. Seriously? I just got a Mewtwo through Wonder Trade. Well, I mean, that's poking fun at all of the hacked Pokemon that are on the Wonder Trade, and then, sadly, all of the kids receiving these cheated Pokemon thinking they're legit, you know? And I've seen it, like, just change. Some people are like, oh, this game sucked. I got a level 100 Mewtwo when I started the game through the Wonder Trade, and then the game was way too easy. Like, I've heard kids complain about Pokemon games like that, and then they think their Pokemon are legit, and they have these cheated Pokemon that aren't even, like, close to being even possible or something. Like, Mewtwo, it's not even available right now. That pre-Pokemon Bank, Mewtwo isn't even in the game, and this kid's picking it up, even though this is like launch day of Pokemon Sun and Moon. But also, it's like, wait, is Game Freak poking fun at it, or are they just accepting it? Like, is this Game Freak just throwing in the towel saying, yep, there's going to be all kinds of hatched Pokemon on the Wonder Trade, kids are going to get it, oh well. And that's like, you know, it's up for interpretation. I think it starts getting way too weird, way too involved with all the hacking and cheating problems in Pokemon. So I wanted to leave it out, but it's still a classic quote. Like, I got tweeted at this for like the first 2 weeks of Pokemon Sun and Moon. Like, I just talked to this kid. Look at all those Wonder Trade hackers. Game Freak's aware, but are they doing anything about it, or is this them saying they're not doing anything about it? I don't even know. Looking at some other quotes, we have Gladion, get out. That's it. And then I love this text, you know, LMFAO, literally the only reason this place exists is for Gladion to tell you to get out. Now, the build up to this is also pretty serious. That it was pretty much like y'all stupid versus get out. And I didn't really feel that the Gladion quote just by itself was enough to make it like a best quote. Because I was going for like funny quotes, impactful quotes. Some people found this hilarious. I just kind of felt it like, Gladion's just being a jerk because he's being Gladion. But if you talk to the hotel owner, he's like, yeah, this kid's lived here for years. So there's like a buildup. I'm like, oh, who's this mysterious figure going to be inside of this hotel room? And it's Gladion. I felt bad for him because, like, yeah, the poor guy's just lived here. You know, he's a bum that he can't get a real house. He can't get a real apartment. So he just has to rent out of a hotel, like motel slumming right there. That's really sad. And then you look at the place, like, this is micro apartment. This is just a basic studio. He's got a very basic bathroom, like a living room that is his bedroom, and that's kind of it. So it really adds a lot of layers to Gladion, but then at the same time, you just get out. We're trying to work together, aren't we? Like, we just battled, we had a moment, and then nah, just get out. He doesn't even want you to see the disgrace that he has been stuck into with his living right here. So it's hilarious, it's impactful. I think it kind of split me up a little too much, put it into the top 10. But this is another one that I wish I put on top 10. But again, it just shows, like, you cannot justify all these amazing quotes by putting it into a top 10. You can't really list it. You can't really rank them, except for, you know, the y'all stupid and the I'm no numbskull, go right ahead. Like, those are objectively the best quotes. But then Gladion and this one start getting close. Lusamine, the daughter who stole my Cosmog from me, and the son who took my type Null. That was powerful. That just stunned me right there because it made the story kind of collapse in on itself for a moment. That you realized, wait, Lusamine is the villain. She's doing like all this crazy nutty stuff. Like, she has freaking preserved Pokemon and she's talking about saving her children, the Ultra Beast, and stuff like that. But also at the same time, can you really blame her? Because her children ran off with her Pokemon. Like, her children stole from her, became ungrateful, and then she freaking went off her rocker. Now, there were a couple things that led up to this, like just the idea of the Aether Foundation, and then the disappearance of Moan, and all the other Ultra Wormhole stuff. So really, like, it gives you a moment of just brutal truth that strikes sympathy until you realize Lusamine's still freaking nuts, but just, wow, you get to feel bad for her, and it's just like the ungratefulness, like, you know, the daughter who stole my Cosmog, and the son who took my type Null. Everything was stolen from her. It's just ridiculous when you start to break it down. And then also, still being a mom though, Gladion, must you be so untidy? Like, dang, the threading of quotes in such a short amount of time is just absolutely ridiculous. But also another one that people told me about was How talking with Faba is pretty crazy. So How saying, so if you just stayed hidden, we would have been stuck here anyways, right? But instead, Faba revealed himself. He thought he wasn't going to lose a Pokemon battle. He did, and then Faba's reaction, what? Another quote that is like super meta because it's making fun of like every villain, you know, every villain in every movie or story or cartoon or book or any form of media that has a villain, they always have that flaw where they get confident or they reveal their plan or they do something stupid even though they were going to win anyways, because we need to wait for the hero to win and we need to go and tie up the story. This like jabs at that because yeah, how else are we going to get out of there? Faba baited us pretty good, so he has to be stupid in his own right and get outsmarted by a kid. This is Faba. He's pretty full of himself, so him losing to a kid really destroys him. Like, it looks like he just watched his like house burn down in front of him when he realizes like, oh, my arrogance got the best of me. Yeah, I could have stayed hiding and these kids would have been trapped and then Lusamine's plan would have gone off without a hitch. So it's technically all my fault after getting the perfect lure for them, and it just like I said, it's meta. It almost breaks that fourth wall. Like, by the way, this is every story plot ever, and how the stupid cheery kid who's also pretty powerful is just like pointing it out and making fun of people for it. So yeah, it's real. It also makes fun of the story. It's like, by the way, we just Deus Ex Machina this story right now because yeah, we had to at some point. And then later on that scene, this picture, no quote, but it's still worth 1,000 words right here because our character, the entire story time, like throughout the entire story, our character is just indifferent. We have a smile. We're just sitting there in a neutral pose, no matter what's happening. The Ultra Beasts are coming out of the wormhole. Everyone's freaking out. We're just like, yeah. Yeah. And then Gladian, he is like about as pissed off as anyone can look. And then we're in the same shot. Like if it was just Gladian, then just Hao being happy. Hao's always happy, so him being happy, that doesn't really matter. And then it cuts to us like, that's the scene. The scene shows everyone and their facial expression. But we're there behind Gladian, just like, yep. He gets mad, and we're just going to do our thing. Like, that's a silly little scene right there. Another one that I think was pretty funny, like this made me chuckle, is you grabbed the discount coupon eagerly. So you go into the Thrifty Mega Mart, they give you a coupon, and it's like, now you don't just grab it, you don't just accept it. It's like, you're not like, you obtain the discount coupon. No, you grab it eagerly, like, yeah, you're an excited little kid in a candy store. You know, they built up the idea of the sale, like, hey kid, you want a really good sale? Like, you want to buy whatever you want? And you're just like, hell yeah! And you just snatch that discount coupon out of his hand. So, I just like that, the little extra word, you know, you grabbed it eagerly. It's like, why do I have to be so excited about this? Thrifty Mega Mart is just that thrifty and hype. So, they hyped me up for it, and it gets a quote on the, like, it's just those little details that really add up in Pokemon Sun and Moon. Similar to the squats, just those little things. And then this guy. So, the veteran working the counter. I mean, you have to feel bad for him because he's like, I used to be a Pokemon trainer, I used to go out, I used to have adventures, and now he's in a supermarket job as an old guy. And then this quote is legendary. Then I got a wife, then I had a kid, now I face a new trial called mortgage. Man, if you're a kid and you're playing this game, like, it's like, oh, by the way, enjoy this game while it lasts, because your life is going to get boring too. You get to worry about this thing called a mortgage. So I love that, a new trial card called mortgage. And he's like, and then we have retirement, the ultimate trial. It's like, whew, this man, he went full dad mode right there. He's like, yeah, this is my life now. You know, I gotta be the responsible adult, have a family, mortgage. Like, dropping the M word, whew. Now, this next one for the list is kind of weird because it's talking about Looker, and he was in my top 10, and that's why he's in this video right now, because a lot of people were pointing this out, that when I was looking for a quote from Looker in a foreign language game, because in the English version he says, like, este un desastro, or something like that. It's like, wait, why is he not speaking English? And then we see his name is Looker. Well, in the foreign language, his name is Handsome. So it means that Looker's name isn't about looking for clues, it just kind of implies he's a looker. And then the handsome thing, like people are like, yo, why is his name Handsome? Oh, now we understand why his name is Looker. So interesting name origins right there on Looker, and that's because of Pokemon Sun and Moon translations. Weird. And then let's go wrap it up with another Team Skull Grunt quote. So you can actually go and sit in Guzma's chair after you go and battle him and stuff. And then a Skull Grunt comes rushing. And then a Skull Grunt comes rushing. He's like, yo, boss. Like, he just expects Guzma to be there, waiting to help out. And then he's like, oh, what's the deal, homie? You're not the boss of me. And he just walks out. It's like, wait, how did, so, that was a very confusing moment for me, because that's just how mindless of followers these guys are. Sometimes they're on your side, sometimes they sympathize with you. Other times, like, Guzma, he's the only person we can trust. He's the only person that we have built up this family feeling with. Also Plumeria to a degree. And it's like, if you're not Guzma, they don't care about you, even if you're sitting throne, even if you topped Big Daddy Guzma. You know, it's like, you're not the boss of me. You know, only Guzma's the boss of me, even though he shows independence, but not towards the person that he trusts the most, who is Guzma. So that's a little interesting. And then speaking of Guzma, you know, it's your boy Guzma. Legendary quote right there. Just almost everything. You can go to a Pokemon Center, get a good laugh. You can just talk to everyone in the game, and you're going to feel like you accomplished something. You're going to feel good about yourself by just talking to people and experiencing the story, experiencing the dialogue. This game is freaking phenomenal. It's fantastic for the writing, and I gotta give credit to whoever did it. And like I said, top 10 doesn't do enough justice. This video doesn't even touch all the quotes, but there are some amazing quotes on so many levels. There's comedy, there's emotion, there's just those hard-hitting facts, there's realizations. It's a beautiful game, it's a hilarious game, and it all comes together. So hope you guys enjoyed the video. Hope you all have a nice day. Thank you very much for watching.